Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at my newest custom, which I have to say I had a lot of fun making this guy. I like the character design a whole lot. This is Shaft, which is... I'm not sure on the character's story. I know he's been in some various storylines, so I don't know that much about the actual character, but I know I recognized him and I thought it was a cool design, so when my customer asked me to make him, I was like, yes, let's make him. So, I don't know how I should do my custom videos now that I use the turntable. Should I just leave it on the turntable and talk about it? What do you guys think? Leave it on the turntable or take it off and talk about it? I think I'm going to take it off this time, and you guys let me know what you think I should do in the future. So let me get him off the stand, and we'll take a closer look. Okay, so this custom was built mostly on the Bucky cap mold. I actually used the Walgreens Daredevil, the yellow and red Daredevil, because he had the no boots and no issues with the hands or anything like that. And then I swapped out some parts. So for the head, I used the Marvel Legends Long Shot, which is a Toy Biz figure, which I really like that head for the 90s looking figures. I like to sculpt that kind of mask on them, kind of like the Gambit mask or Havoc. And then sculpting the hair on top too. I don't know why I like that face for it, and it matched the character's design anyway, so I went with it. So this time, if you guys saw my Havoc figure, I made the hair kind of like how I do most of my figures, where I make each individual strand of hair and then connect them. For this one, I made it much more, I tried to make it more comic-like, where I sculpted it was just one big chunk, and then I sculpted all the little waves into it. Then I just brought some down on the front, and there's even a little bit of one hanging down underneath the hood, if you can see that. I thought that gave it a little bit of character. So I did that. I sculpted the head, everything except for the face from scratch, the little ear lumps and all that. That's all me. I sculpted this shoulder pad thing that he has on his right side, our left side. I sculpted this shoulder pad, so that's an interesting story. This thing's completely hinged, that way I can move the arm around and it still sticks with the arm. Sculpting that onto the torso would have been a problem for moving the arm around, so I like to always connect my shoulder pads when I can to the shoulder itself. So I found a piece of plastic that had two little nubbins on it that happened to be just about the same size as the shoulder. So I drilled holes into the shoulder to create sockets for the nubbins. Then I sculpted this shoulder pad completely over that plastic thing. And then I just put it back on very carefully after I sculpted and painted everything. So that's completely hinged and the arm can move freely with that shoulder pad. Obviously, you wouldn't want the gap there. You wouldn't have it like that until you move the arm out, and then you can fold that back up to where you want it. All of the articulation is still functional. I sculpted this. I sculpted a sleeve cuff at the top there, and then just painted all of the stripes on there. And then I sculpted the wrist thing here, and then on this side I made it a little bit different, because I felt like he shouldn't have the same wrist things on the sleeved arm and on this arm with that thing, so I did that. And then I took some things from Longshot and gave him his little gold things that go on his belt area, because he needed those. I sculpted about 1 billion pouches around each of his thighs because he's a super 90s, I think it's Rob Liefeld design, so he needed those pouches going all the way around. He needed knee pads, so I took some, I think those might be from an old Batman movie figure, I'm not sure, but I took those things and I modified them to fit on the knees, and then I sculpted that all together. And then I sculpted the ankle things down here, and I sculpted a quiver, and I used arrows from a DCUC Red Arrow figure in the top there. And that was all the sculpting involved. And then for the actual paintwork and everything, I took the figure completely apart, and I airbrushed all of the white with some gray shading, because painting white by hand sucks a whole bunch, so I did that. And then I painted all of the red by hand to give us the lines that we needed. And then I dry brushed shading on the red. It's super subtle. I didn't want this guy to be like super dark, because he's got the white on there. I don't like doing dark shading on white, and I didn't want to do super dark shading on the red up against the white, so I kind of found a balance with some subtle shading on the red. Then I brushed on the skin paint also, and I dry brushed that to give it the shading. And then he's supposed to have, like, there's a bunch of different versions of him where some things are brown and some things are silver and some things are gold, so bronze and I don't know, whatever color. So I did kind of a composition, composite, I guess, of some of the different designs. So this shoulder pad here, the quiver, and these straps are a really dark red, almost brownish, but dark red. And then this, and all of the wrist and ankle things, and the knee pads are all the metallic bronze, which is a little more brown than bronze, but still metallic. So I wanted to give him some variation. Obviously the gold is metallic. I painted the gold panels up here also. Obviously that's metallic. And then the arrows are gold to match all that. So I really like the composition of this guy, both design-wise and in that it afforded me the opportunity to give him some nice different finishes. So I used like a pearly white for the white parts, the red's just kind of like a satin red, and then the skin tones are kind of a flat color, but a little bit of a matte / satin finish, just to give him that kind of luminosity that skin has, because it does. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I could talk about more stuff technically speaking, but it doesn't really matter. If you guys are interested in the technical side of things, check out my Patreon page. I often do walkthroughs on how I'm building my customs and technical stuff about how figures are designed and things like that. So if you're interested in that, check out my Patreon page. It helps me out, and you'll get rewards for also participating in that. So anyway, there's my newest custom. That's it. Oh, his arrow, or his bow, which is supposed to be stringless, by the way, is from Red Arrow. I just took the string part out and then painted it silver and black. And this arrow, I think it's from one of the old Hawkeye figures that I painted up the arrow for that, and it works nicely. So, another thing, the hands. I'm not sure which hands Daredevil originally had. I think this one is right, but this hand was just a regular grabby hand. I wanted the trigger finger hand, so I took a cast of I think it was the AIM or the Hydra guy, and I had it casted, and it's actually a really soft plastic, so he can hold that quiver no problem without scratching any paint or anything like that. And then this one didn't really need it because it's just the one finger that has to hold the arrow in it, so it's not really a risk of any damage or anything like that. I didn't wedge it in there, but you get the idea. So that one I just left. Now it's staying. Whatever. There you go. All right, that's my newest custom. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.